who is ready for the longest spooky TBR? Oh my gosh, wait. I know the shirt was extra, but since we're talking about it, also the shoes. Y'all, it's not even September yet, but I'm excited. Hi, by the way. I feel like I never really do sit down videos, so I'm excited. So like I said, fall TBR time. Now, when I say fall, what I mean is from right now through November. Now, I will say, I'm sure by the end of this, I'll probably have missed a couple. I've written it all down, or I'll find some that I hadn't heard of that I'm gonna wanna read. But this is like the gist. These are all the books that I've seen over the past year and thought, I have to read that next fall. But we've got a big list going. I've kind of split them up by category. So basically, the way that I read is almost like structured mood reading. So like, I kind of do this where I group everything together that fits the same theme, like fits the same season, but it's not one genre, if that makes sense. So then out of my big list, I pick what I feel like reading at that time. Does that make sense? First category we're starting off with. Not really a category, but an author. Obviously, cannot make spooky book video without Stephen King. Not possible. I have read some of his books before. If you haven't listened to the audiobook of Salem's Lot during the fall, I absolutely would recommend it. But this year I picked 3 of his books that I do really want to read. So one is Carrie, a classic, if you will. Also, I'm highly considering dressing as Carrie for Halloween, so it feels right. It feels right. I'm hoping the book will like inspire me a little bit. The second book I want to read from him is Pet Sematary. I have had several friends personally recommend this book to me, and I am so intrigued. Don't know what it's about, but just the way that people speak about it, I think it's gonna be a good one. So the third one is Night Shift. Now this one is one of his collection of short stories. I know there's another one, but I have heard really good things about this one specifically. Also, I think it'll be like a really good in-between type of read, because then I can read one of the short stories, start another book, and then revisit another short story. I don't have to read everything all at once because they're obviously broken up a little bit more. So I feel like that'll be helpful if I need a break from other things. This next one is a long one, but it was inevitable. Books that I found on Booktube or Book Talk. A lot of the same books tend to rotate, but I like hearing more than one perspective about the same book because it almost gives me a feel of what to expect before reading it, or if I would want to read it without actually giving me the plot or any type of like spoiling. So it's not really that I know much about any of these books, but I've listened to enough people discuss them, I guess, that I somehow am intrigued. Okay, we've got Bunny. I know you've seen this cover because this has been everywhere. Pretty sure it's a horror. I really want to read it. Info? Not present. But I'm curious. The next one on my list is Ninth House. Currently halfway through it. I will be doing a reading vlog for it. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. I find it really fun to annotate these types of books. Like there's so many little hints that are being dropped. So that one's going really well. I want to do Atlas 6 still. Haven't gotten around to it because there's a specific cover I want. Haven't found it yet. In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife. Vibes. My Heart is a Chainsaw. The Year of the Witching. I actually didn't think that I saw this in a fall TBR today and was like, yeah, sure. Sounds cool. Let's put it on there. Mexican Gothic. Middle Game. The October Country. And maybe Hallowe'en Party by Agatha Christie for obvious reasons. So all of these kind of fit under that umbrella of like, they seem spooky, they seem hyped. I want to see what's going on with that. Now on top of those, I do feel like series are really popular for the fall season just because I think a lot of people read fantasy during the fall. Personally, I like a little sprinkle all year round, but I am particularly more excited about a lot of series that kind of fit into this feel, if you will. I've been saying that I want to buddy read this so bad. Carly, I'm getting to it, I promise. Zodiac Academy. This has been getting a lot more attention recently, or maybe I've just been noticing it more recently. The only thing about that one is that I don't think the series has been completed yet, but it's 2 authors, so they're like throwing them out like it's nothing. Ooh, this is a big one. I feel like everyone has read this, except for me, apparently. But the Cruel Prince trilogy, I feel like I could just in one sitting. Ooh, The Diviners. I've been seeing this one for a while, and I know that they released the new covers. I'm pretty sure that they match all the sequels. I'm pretty sure there's 4 in this one. This one's really high on my series list. Oh, obviously Harry Potter. Now, Harry Potter I treat a little bit different because obviously it's so massive, and it's a little different too because I know the whole storyline and very familiar. But what I've kind of done is I'll get into moods, and I do this with the movies too. I'll get into moods where all I want is Harry Potter. And so then I just sit and I binge it, and then I put it away and I wait for that time to come again. So I'm kind of doing that with the books. I'm on the 4th one right now. I'm like in the middle of the 4th one. So at some point in the fall, I will probably be finishing it, picking it up at least. Okay, the Villains series or Shades of Magic series, let me know. They have just about the same ratings on Goodreads between the two of them. I just want to read another V.E. Schwab book, and the other ones she has out, I'm pretty sure are all series. Let me know if one series is better than the other one. I will read it. I was obsessed with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, so anything else like that, chef's kiss here for it. Now, I have been reading Throne of Glass. I'm on book 4 right now. I'm almost finished with it. I will be continuing to read it. I'm super excited. I'm almost on Queen of Shadows, and I've heard good things. So Heir of Fire, hands down, has been my favorite of the series so far. So I'm glad that it's like progressing as far as my enjoyment. Don't know if I'll get to it this season, but I'm really interested in reading Name of the Wind. I've heard like, oh, if you like Harry Potter, you'd probably like this too. It looks like one of those really massive reads where you really gotta like sit down and map everything out. But I will read it. It's just the when is the question mark. Okay, the last one is the Sands of Arawia question mark. I don't know. It's the duology that's We Hunt the Flame. That looks super interesting. And then when I added it on my want to read on Goodreads, I saw that an author that I follow raved about it. So I absolutely want to get to that as well. Speaking of other spooky authors though, there are a few manga that I really want to get to. So today started Uzumaki by Junji Ito. I'm obsessed. I read like 5 chapters. I just sat down and read all of it at once and was like, wait, no, I have to save some of it. But I really like it. It's really like creepy and weird, and I love it. So also on my list from him, Gyo, and I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Tomie. But I really like his writing style. I really like all the illustrations. They're super cool, and I don't know, it's just such a unique story, something that I never would have thought of. So it's really, really freaking cool, and you should read it too. He has some other ones, but those are the 3 main ones that I've heard of from him. I'm also really interested in Death Note. I've heard that the manga for Death Note is really good. So in addition to also probably watching the anime this fall, I do want to pick up the manga at some point and see what that's about. I'm curious. All right, then we got classics. But now I like reading the classics because I feel like it kind of shows you where a lot of authors get their inspiration from.
Thin point. Looks like the tip of a pencil.
Okay, that makes sense. What was I talking about? Classics. Okay. So as far as spooky classics, I have read Dracula and Frankenstein, but I think I want to reread them this year and like really go in and annotate them. I also have Carmilla written down. Now, I may be wrong, but apparently this is what inspired Dracula. We'll see. Then I really want to read something by Edgar Allan Poe and maybe something by H.P. Lovecraft. I know his are usually pretty lengthy, but, you know, I put it down here because I'm not opposed. If I have the time, you know, I'll do it. The Haunting of Hill House, and then also The House of the Seven Gables. My parents actually told me to read this one. They have a house that, like, goes with this book in Salem. I walked past it, but I didn't get to do it. So I'm like, okay, I'll read the book and then I'll go back and then I'll get it. And then I don't know if this is really, there's no way it's considered a classic. I consider it a classic because of my nostalgia. But I want to read Coraline because, what more can you say? Maybe I'll dress up as the mom from Coraline for Halloween. Ideas are brewing. So there's actually a couple new releases too that are coming out this fall that I did want to quickly mention. September 27th, Kingdom of the Feared comes out. That's the third book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. Now, hear me out. People hate on this. I loved it. I loved it. And if you didn't, I'm sorry. I don't know. So I'm definitely going to be reading the third book, marking the calendar. Then October 25th, we've got the Atlas Paradox, the sequel to the Atlas 6. I should probably read the first one. So we will be getting to that one. Oh, also there's the Ex Hex, which I do think that I want to read. A friend of mine is currently reading it and I kind of want to see how she felt about it. But the author of that book is releasing another book. I don't think they're connected. I think it's just like a similar type of vibe going on, but it's called The Kiss Curse and it's coming out September 20th. So I figured if I liked the Ex Hex, then I would read The Kiss Curse as well. This one makes my heart sad, but I did put Hellbent on this list just because I'm so excited to read it. It's the sequel for Ninth House, but unfortunately it doesn't come out until but I will be reading it even though it's gonna be winter. I just wanted to bring it up in case you forgot about it. I don't know. All right, that's about all I've got except for one honorable mention, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. But I had a woman at work recommend this to me. She said that she listened to the audiobook on a road trip to Savannah, Georgia, which is where it's set in, and you can see all the stuff that it talks about in the garden. I don't know, it just sounds really cool, and I know it's like spooky in some way. Also, Savannah has like a ton of ghost tours and I would love to do like a little mini trip. So honorable mention because, you know, like a little solo road trip sounds fun, and if I say it out loud, maybe I'll get around to doing it. That's the thought anyways. But yeah, so that's about it. My very long, very hesitant TBR. Like I'm writing it in pencil, not in pen type of plan. But I'm so excited and I love Halloween. So I will see you later.